What? Discuss it. Let me see. আমার তো নিজে বলেছে তো বেশ বড় বেটার দ্যান লাফিং নাম্বার configuration.
Namaste to you all.
Sorry, sound.
It's all very well. That's my statement.
Should be fine. Yeah, should be fine. We'll keep. Yeah, we'll keep that sound. Okay, I'm already on the system.
What will say up there? Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om. Tava Kathamritam Tapta Jivanam Kavi Viriditam Kalmashapaham Shravanamangalam Srimadatam Bhuvi Grinanti Ye Bhurida Jana. May we be protected, may we be nourished, may we strive with energy and vigor. May our study be enlightening and not give rise to hostility. Om peace, peace, peace. Your nectar-like words and warm and inspiring life stories, eulogized by learned sages, are indeed eradicator of a shoot of ignorance. These are auspicious to hear and propitious to inculcate in one's life. Those who take these words to the world are indeed great benefactor of the world. So we are happy. Maharaj is here again. And when such Swamijis come, the total environment gets changed. And we get inspiration from them. So, Swami Ishtananda Maharaj from Vedanta Society of St. Petersburg, Florida. So we'll start with a reading of the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. And then whatever comes to Maharaj, he can talk about. Mike.
Make it work.
There's
It's not working. Number 4. Let me check that. Yeah. You want to fold it? It says number 3. Huh. Oh, this one doesn't work. The other wireless one. Somebody told me this one doesn't work. I see. Yeah, no, that's number 4. Yeah. I'll make it work on there. This one doesn't matter. So. Well, wait. No, there's two things to turn on. One has let me just see the microphone a second. Because this is something I do every that on for. Yeah, no. Okay, that's there. Yes. Yeah. So should I start where we left off?
No. Just opening.
Okay. We'll do the old open and see what happens. Yeah. Master to Mahima. Why do you call the world a deep well or a trackless forest? An aspirant may think so in the beginning, but how can he be frightened by the world if he holds fast to God? Then he finds that this very world is a mansion of mirth. Here I can eat, here drink, and make merry. Why should you be frightened? Hold fast to God. What if the world is like a forest of thorns? Put on shoes and walk on the thorns. Whom should you fear? You won't have to play again the part of the thief in the game of hide and seek once you touch the granny. King Janaka used to fence with two swords, the one of knowledge and the other of action. Nothing can frighten an expert player. To M. My mind is still drawn to what he has recited. Sri Ramakrishna referred to the hymns chanted by Mahima. Nipai Chaitanya and the other devotees began to sing. They were joined by the master, who danced, drunk with divine love. Afterwards he said, this is the one thing needful, the chanting of God's name. All else is unreal. Love and devotion alone are real, and other things are of no consequence. Later, Sri Ramakrishna went out in the direction of the Panchavati. He asked M about Vinod, a student at M's school who now and then experienced ecstasy while thinking of God. The master loved him dearly. As he was returning to his room with M, he asked, well, some speak of me as an incarnation of God. Some speak of me as an incarnation of God. What do you think about it? The master came back to his room and sat on a small couch. He repeated the question to M. The other devotees were seated at a distance and could not follow the conversation. Master, what do you say? M, I think so too. You are like Sri Chaitanya. Master, is it a full incarnation, a full manifestation of God, or a part? Tell me how much. M, I don't know, sir, but it is true that there is in you an incarnation of the divine power. There's no doubt that God alone dwells in you. Master, that is true. Chaitanya also wanted to realize Shakti, the divine power. Narendra was engaged in a heated discussion. Ram, who had recently recovered from an illness, joined him. Master to him, I don't like such discussions. To Ram, will you stop that? You haven't been well, all right. Go on softly, don't get so excited. To M, I don't like these discussions. I used to weep and pray to the Divine Mother saying, oh Mother, one man says it's this, while another man says it's that. Do thou tell me, O Mother, what is the truth? Okay. Sunday, March 7th, 1885. At 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Sri Ramakrishna was in his room, the Dakshineshwar conversing happily with his devotees. Babu Ram, the younger Narayan, Paltu, Haripada, Mohini Mohan, and others were present.
Mohini Mohan is M.
Oh, right. He used several names. A young Brahmin who had been staying with the master a few days was also there. The Holy Mother, Sri Ramakrishna's wife, was living in the Nahabat. Occasionally, she would come to Sri Ramakrishna's room to attend to his needs. Mohini Mohan had brought his wife and Nabin's mother with him to the temple garden from Calcutta. The ladies were with the Holy Mother. They were waiting for an opportunity to visit the master when the men devotees would leave the room. Sri Ramakrishna was sitting on the small couch. As he looked at the young devotees, his face beamed with joy. Rakhal was not then living at Dakshineshwar with the master. Since his return from Vrindavan, he had been living at home. Master smiling. Rakhal is now enjoying his pension. Since his return from Vrindavan, he had been staying at home. His wife was there, but he said to me that he would not accept any work, even if he were offered a salary of 1,000 rupees. Rakhal would lie down here and say to me that he didn't care even for my company. He was then passing through such an exalted state. Bhavanath is married, but he spends the whole night in spiritual conversations with his wife. The couple passed their time talking of God alone. I said to him, have a little fun with your wife now and then. What? He retorted angrily. Shall we too indulge in frivolity? Sri Ramakrishna began to talk about Narendra, master to the devotees. I haven't felt the same strong longing for the younger Naren that I felt for Narendra. To Haripada, do you go to Girish Ghosh's house? Haripada, yes, I go there very often. He's our neighbor. Master, does Narendra go there too? Haripada, yes, I see him there occasionally. Master, what does he say in reply to Girish? Girish Ghosh spoke of Sri Ramakrishna as an incarnation of God. Haripada, Narendra has been defeated in the argument. Master, no. Narendra says Girish Ghosh has such strong faith. Why should I contradict him? The brother of Judge Amokal Mukhopadhyaya,
Anukul.
yeah, son-in-law was in the room. The master asked him, you know Narendra? Brother, yes, sir. He's a very intelligent young man. Master to the devotees. He must be a good man because he speaks highly of Narendra. Narendra was here the other day and sang with Triloka Sanyal, but that day his singing sounded flat to me. Babaram was a student in the entrance class in the school where M taught. Master to Babaram, where are your books? Aren't you attending to your studies? To M, he wants to stick to both. In other words, God and the world. That is very difficult. What will you gain by knowing God partially? Vasishtadeva, great sage that he was overcome at the death of his sons. That amazed Lakshmana, and he asked Rama the reason. Rama said, brother, what is there to wonder about? He who has knowledge has ignorance also. Brother, go beyond knowledge and ignorance. If a thorn enters the sole of your foot, you get another thorn to take the first one out. Afterwards, you throw both away. Likewise, one procures the thorn of knowledge to remove the thorn of ignorance. Then one goes beyond both knowledge and ignorance. Baburam smiling. That's what I want. Master smiling, but my child, can you attain it by holding to both? If you want that, then come away. Baburam smiling, take me away from the world.
But what's the page number?
716.
What else?
Thank you, Maharaj, for this nice evening. It is not a lecture or talk or anything prepared, just meeting you here this evening after this wonderful evening service, vesper, meditation. And this reading of this gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, which is an never-ending inspiration in the spiritual life of all of us, those who have understood the beauty and importance of it as a support to our spiritual life, this gospel. When we start thinking of it in any way, we start with the idea that Sri Ramakrishna was the God incarnate in human body. That is why we had assembled in the shrine. We were singing the Vesper songs, and afterwards we are trying to meditate on that highest of the ideal, but has come down and mellowed down to the level that should be, to some extent, both doable as well as enjoyable. Because when you think of the God beyond, that has got no name and form, beyond any attribute or quality, so you cannot describe it, which is one without a second. Then it goes beyond our mind's reach. Yato vacho nivartante aprapya manasasahan. This is what Upanishad says. Where you cannot describe what it is, the speech comes to a stop. No description possible. And it is not reachable, cannot be understood with the help of our mind, our flight of the mind, which in itself is so vast and appears like limitless flight. Think of the great minds in many different fields, arts and literature and music and different kinds of concepts based upon which every new ideas and discoveries are made. These are the flights of the mind. And there is no limit to it. For thousands and thousands of years, new ideas in all different fields. But that mind is helpless in fathoming the depth or in trying to have a glimpse or a hint of that which lies beyond, which is called one without a second. So for the sake of our convenience, and that too making it very nice and sweet and palatable, attractive, charming, God incarnates in human body. So we were singing the Vesper songs, two of which are authored by none other than Swamiji himself. Khandana bhava bandhana jaga bandhana punditama, etc., etc. It is almost Sanskrit Bengali. He wrote in Bengali, but almost Sanskrit, except one or two words here and there, like tomai, to you. This is not a Sanskrit word. But khandana, bhava-bandhana, jaga-bandhana, bandi, these are Sanskrit. And then similarly for line after line after line after line. And not that Swamiji sat with a specific intention of composing a hymn or a prayer, like a scholarly author, writer, composer. No, it's just spontaneously coming out from his heart, wailing out from his heart. And there, each and every word there in that prayer is trying to describe certain way the divine glory and beauty of Sri Ramakrishna, each and every word. Khandana bhava bandhana jaga bandhana. You are the breaker of bhava bandhana, the bondage that is the worldliness. You have come to break or unchain, untie us, that we are all so strongly bound here in this world. Nobody holds us. We are holding this world in a very strong way, through all different ways, our five senses and our mental attachment. We are holding, nobody holds us. The moment we drop it, which is called dispassion, that is called dispassion. That is called detachment. The moment we don't have this attachment or attraction, attachment means attraction. We like it, everything we like it. All the five different objects of our five senses, we are attached to them. We want to smell nice things, we want to see, hear nice music, we want to taste nice food, we want to have nice place to sit down, lie down, have a nice touch. All these things, every five senses, they are looking for things that we want. I want this, I don't want that. This is how our five senses are reaching out and searching for the objects that will satisfy those senses or pamper those senses. And then the mind is the king of all senses, and there is no end to what mind wants for its own pleasure and happiness and satisfaction. And that is a continuous pouring of things. There is no end to that. That if we want this, then I'm fully satisfied and I'm done. Now I can go to God for God realization. Now I can sit for deep meditation. There's no such thing. One thing I get, then I want next one. And after that, I want better one, superior one. And I think that perhaps I have gotten enough. And then I look on the side and I find my neighbor, my friend has got a better thing, a bigger, nicer, pricier. Then I am not satisfied with what I have got. So this is the mind's play, and there is no end to it. And these are the attachment. These are the attraction. The whole world appears so attractive to us, dazzling. We read with interest who is the top billionaire in the world. How many billionaires are there and how many have added this year compared to last year, etc. And who are the new millionaires, multimillionaires, etc. etc. There is a race to the. They are not going to eat and sleep and enjoy anything that all those millions and billions could provide them. Still, there is a race for that. There is an unquenched thirst for this world. This world is so attractive to us, so interesting, so wonderful, that we are continuously going out, reaching out to grab it. This is called attachment. The world is not attached to us. This world is not attached to us. The world is not holding us from going Godwardly and realize the supreme peace and bliss and fulfillment of our life of God realization. World is not doing anything wrong. If we look at something and feel very attractive, very interesting, it is not that interesting thing that has to be blamed for it. It is me who is supposed to be having some special thing in me that I'm looking there and say, oh my God, what a beautiful thing. Somebody else will just pass by and not pay any attention to that. So the object in itself is neither attractive nor it is awful. It is just what it is. And it is something here that gets suddenly latched with it and says, oh, this is great and wonderful and I want it. So who is binding it? It is you who has holding on to the world, and this is called attachment. So when it is, Swamiji says that the, O Lord God incarnate, you have come to break and snap and untie khandana, bhava bandhana, the bondage of this worldliness. This is called worldliness. So this is a way to describe the God incarnate. This is a way to describe that you have come to help us doing this. We are helplessly tied down to the level of this earthly attachment, and we have no way to get out of here, get rid of this bondage by our own self. We don't find ourselves strong enough, capable enough, and we don't see any hope. So, Lord, you have come to untie this bond of worldliness. This is one. Similarly, word after word after word, all this entire prayer that you have been singing there in the Vesper, each and every word is a description of the divine who has incarnated in human body for the sake of us. So each and every word you can pick up and you can think on it and explore further deeper into the meaning of it and go into meditation. You can contemplate on it first and then you meditate. You can meditate on it. And the entire hymn is full of all those different attributes that Swami Vivekananda, a person of his stature, could describe. Others, we just look at Sri Ramakrishna and say, yeah, he was born in Kamarpuguri and he was a worshipper of Mother Kali and he attained all these things and then he came back and he gave some very wonderful teachings. We won't be able to go into the deeper layers of many, many, many different exceptional and wonderful, glorious aspects of the divinity appearing in human body. We may not be able to think that. Our ordinary level of devotion and intellectual ability may not have all the ways to understand many different things. So someone like Swami Vivekananda comes and for the sake of our help, he gives all. So many different ways to think upon the divine. Think upon the divine. And as I mentioned, that thinking upon the divine is not easy. It is not easy. Because it is beyond our mind's reach and beyond the power of speech. We cannot think, comprehend, and therefore we cannot speak out. We cannot address the divine, what that is and what that is not, no idea, we cannot describe it. So in this, all these many different descriptions, after halfway through those prayers comes those words, Pranarpana Jagatatarana. These are wonderful words. It talks about the very deep-rooted, almost like a humane side of the divine. Pranarpana. The giving away his own life. His prana, arpana means offering. Offering his life. God has appeared as if he is a living being, like a human being. And that life, it is for the sake of giving away. Most of our lives is not for giving to anybody. Our lives are like it is for our own enjoyment. We live for the sake of what we can do, what we can get, what we can become. It is all about ourselves. In Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, it has been mentioned in a very detailed way, where Yagyavalkya and Gargi, they were discussing, great philosophical discussion. There, Yagyavalkya says that it is not for anybody else, that anyone, this human relationship and all sorts of things, and we say, I love so-and-so, or my husband or wife, or my child, or my parents, or my friends, or anything that we say, I love, this love is not for free or not unselfish. All loves are all for the only love is about one's own self. And whatever becomes meaningful to one's own support system, we say that we love that. That is how the whole world is structured. And we should not remain ignorant and unaware of it. That's why the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad explains that. That ultimately everybody is loving them, oneself. That's it. It is not for somebody else that a person goes out and does this, does that, and says that I love this, I love. It is not for free. There is no free love distributed by human being. No? The human love is all about selfish love. That is in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Here comes God in human body, whose life is all for the sake of sacrifice. And if we look at all the different kinds of God incarnate in different ages, we shall find that they did not live for the sake of their own anything. What was the reason that Sri Ramakrishna, even after suppose that he wanted to have the God realization, and after coming to Kali temple, and he was just crossing the adolescent period, 17, 18 years age. In the olden days, the adolescent was a little older age. Now the modern age, it has become further lower age group. But when Sri Ramakrishna was appointed into the Kali temple, and all of you, I believe, have the whole story. You know how he did not want to. He was pressurized because his older brother was taking a leave, wanted to go to village where his wife and etc. etc. So he was said for temporarily have this Kali temple pujari priest job, and he was under pressure. He had to accept it for his brother, and brother never returned back, died there. And eventually he had to become his position became permanent. He got a permanent job. He did not ask for it, but he got it. And then came the transformation that he wanted to see God firsthand. It is not about that because it is written in the scriptures. It is not because people have been talking like that. Here is Mother Kali. Kali is the goddess of the universe. He is the mother of the whole universe and the creators and etc. He is not going to take all these things. Just like Swami Vivekananda said later on here lecturing, that don't accept because somebody has said it or the scripture says it or anything. See, know for yourself and then only believe. Don't believe otherwise. What Swamiji says in the lectures here, it appeared in Sri Ramakrishna's heart that he wanted to know firsthand whether it is true or what. People are talking about it, and even some have said that they have realized it, but why not me like that? Why only Ram Prasad would be able to see Mother Kali? Why not me? And all sorts of things, and that intense longing, and how that ended with the flood of pure consciousness drowning him, and he remained in that level of going beyond all external awareness. And while returning back from there after a long time, he simply says, Ma, Ma, Ma. So all of you have heard and read, and many a time people have talked about it. But then we see something very strange. And here comes the description of God incarnate. Swamiji says, Pranarpana. His life is for the sake of offering. Offering to whom? Offering to all people. And after he is gone, all posterity, to the rest of the world. A God incarnates in human body. It is not for the sake of a small job to accomplish. A life is for offering. That's Swamiji says. Prana arpana. Prana is life, arpana. It is offering, offered. What he does, after that realization of Mother Kali, anybody would have been perfectly satisfied and happy. Said that, oh my, I have accomplished what I wanted to. I have seen the God, Mother Kali, first-hand experience. I'm so fulfilled and satisfied and accomplished. I am for the rest of my life, I don't need to do anything else. I just sit there and I enjoy my realization of truth in the form of Divine Mother Kali, who had appeared in the formless, pure consciousness, all pervading. I have realized it, and now I don't have to do anything. But surprise, surprise, surprise. What we see that he is entering into 12 long years of intense spiritual practices, one after another, after another, after another. Apparently, it is explained that it is for the sake of that, oh, he wanted to know how this particular sect, they do their worship, that particular religious group, they do their worship, etc., etc. He wanted to know and asking Mother Kali that, Mother, I want to know this, I want to know that. And Mother Kali brings a great, great spiritual teacher and all sorts of necessary provisions. It started with Brahmani, Yogeshwari, and then after that, one after another, other teacher came, and everyone, they explained to him how it is done, what it is, and how to practice, and he entered into that supreme bliss of samadhi in that particular path in no time almost. But he did it. And this state of his intense sadhana, it was not a few days or a few months, it was year after year after year. And that was like destroying his body to the level when he came to a rest, or he said, okay, let us give it call it a day. When he said, then his health was totally broken. He could not digest food properly. He could not walk and go to places just walking. He had to be brought a horse-driven carriage and be helped and supported. He was not even 50 years old. And he did not damage his body by smoking marijuana or drinking liquor or anything. He did not do anything wrong. Just he did not pay any attention to his body, and intense sadhana that completely had damaged his system to the level where he needed continuous support for remaining in that body. Even he had to pray to Mother Kali and be ashamed by Mother Kali. You know that story, that once they took him to see the Asiatic Society Museum, and there he saw a skeleton. And seeing that, he came back and said, Mother, I'm not asking anything, just if you could tie up all the bones and everything, like I saw in that Asiatic Society, in that museum, then I could do my job a little better, if I'm a little healthier. And Mother made him ashamed, etc., etc. Don't you worry. And point is that his life was a continuous burning of the candle-like thing, or burning of an incense stick. It is a continuous offering. He is absorbing, knowing firsthand all the different religious truths, and then reaching out door to door, from house to house, finding out if there is anybody else who is able to understand his message, his teaching. Then he would wait for him or her to come to him. If not, then he will try to reach out to them, like that. So what was going on there? This is what Swamiji has described, that the pranarpana, he is giving his life as an offering to the mankind. His intense spiritual practices, sadhana, to have the first-hand spiritual wisdom, and then try to reach out to as many people as possible in his own time. It was not internet that he would open a social media site and tell them a video of his message. Whatever was possible during his time, in his way, he did his best to reach out to help people and support them and distribute. He was pranarpana. And for what? Jagata Tarana. That for the sake of helping the world to liberate, to get liberation. For the salvation, Tarana word is actually salvation of Jagata, means the world. For the salvation of the world at large. It is not about just the person next sitting to him, for everybody. And there, his whole life is completely dedicated. It is as I mentioned, we can imagine in our mind's eye, like Sri Ramakrishna is like a burning candle, and it is burning, 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 giving away the light to the world. And that is what he was living when he was living. So this way we can go on and talk about many different ways that Sri Ramakrishna has been explained in one word by Swamiji, and each of those words are so valuable. We find in Sri Ramakrishna's lifetime that his whole body, mind was so pure sattvic. He could not bear the touch of impure people. It would be so painful and damaging. But in spite of that, he allowed people to touch him. He allowed people to touch him. Even knowing that people are not that religious or holy or austere, anything, still he would be compassionate enough to allow people to come near him and touch him and give them whatever he could to support and help them walk on the path of spiritual life. There are many such incidents, but we cannot enter into those discussions. The idea is that Sri Ramakrishna has been described. And this is not only for Sri Ramakrishna. When we think about God incarnated even before him, Buddha or Jesus or Chaitanya, those whom we understand as or have been told as the God incarnate, there are many different categories of the divine personalities. Some are God incarnate in human body. In very ancient time, like Lord Rama or Krishna, they were. But then we find many great personalities, great saintly personalities. They are not God incarnate, but they were like great teachers of humanity. There is a difference between God incarnate and God realized great souls. God realized great souls, they are born on account of their prarabdha. The past karma, they had to take a human birth. But because they had done so much of spiritual practices in their previous birth, that this becomes their last birth, and then they become illumined souls, and after that they could do immense help to the humanity through their presence, through their blessings, through their people's coming in contact with them, etc. But when God incarnates in human body, it is not about their karma or anything. It is about God just have the divine lila and desire to come and help people. That is what they do. And when that is done, there is no need for them for going through intense spiritual practices. They could have the illumination even without going through that processing. But still they do for the sake of help to the people. So that they should learn how to do and what is the right thing to do. If they don't do it, then everybody else says, oh, we don't have to do anything. You look at my hero. He did not do anything, so I don't have to. So I want to extend my this tonight's discussion, except one thing for you to point out. God doesn't appear only in male body. It is not, the body is not a big deal. Body is only for the sake of making it the best possible means or the vehicle to do that job of spreading spirituality, removing the darkness and spreading more light. When it gets very, very dark period of human history, then that is why God incarnates in human body. Now we see many previous incarnations that are described as male bodies. And then people might think that, is it so that God only incarnates in male form? I would say that we should be careful in thinking in that line. It is all about the social and other conditions in that time of the history of mankind, because we should not judge anything in an isolated way. The history of human civilization, it has moved through thousands of years in a way where the male body would be the best carrier to a little more freely giving people what they are needing. Can you think that during Jesus Christ's time, instead of a male body, a female body, God incarnate had come and had done that kind of work, traveling here and there and preaching and under threat of all sorts of things? It will be not thinkable. Even in the time when Buddha came before Jesus Christ, and in India, men and women had a whole lot of freedom, and not that they were restricted. Great women scholars and performers and intellectuals were there. They were not under big bondage or any kind of slavery or no. It was not Middle East. It is not Islamic civilization. It was a very different time, but still having a male body helped immensely in the sense of free movement and preaching and all these things. So when the God incarnates, it is about the time and place and the environment and suitability. It is no other consideration. So we find in the case of Sri Ramakrishna Avatar, when God came in Sri Ramakrishna's body, it was a twofold body. Twofold body. It is Sri Ramakrishna and Holy Mother. Both of them, they were the God incarnated in human form, but appearing like two. So in the case of Sri Ramakrishna, he did one way, both his spiritual sadhana or austere spiritual practices and his ministration, his gracious distribution of his spiritual wealth among people. He did in one way. In the case of Holy Mother, God did it different way, a little bit different way. But if we go into details of the life story of Holy Mother, there also we shall find the same qualities that Sri Ram Krishna has been attributed by Swamiji, Khandana Bhavavandana, Jayavandana, etc., etc. And these two areas that I am focusing tonight, Prana Arpana Jagata Tarana, burning one's own life to give the light to the world for the sake of liberation of the world. In life of Holy Mother, there is nothing less you can find it, but it is in a different way that had happened. But that would be another day's talk, maybe another night. Tonight we shall stop here. And thank you, Maharaj, for giving me this time.
Any question?
I have a question. I don't know how I want to word it, but you made a fine point, towards the end about how we can get stuck in this trap of maybe thinking of God only as a particular body or particular form or particular gender. And that, the reasons for why we shouldn't think like that isn't, oh, well, he's only gonna come as a guy, he's only gonna come as a man, he's only gonna come as a boy. It's not that that's what works, it's just that's what works in this time. And so, what would you recommend for, helping people to get out of the thought process of God in terms of gender or body, and instead thinking God just wants to bring us all to the truth?
Yeah, we have to actually, people relate with themselves, with God, relating to God happens in both end of this relationship. So long as we are very strongly body-minded, body-conscious, we have got that kind of thought in our head. Oh, God is a bearded old man sitting above sky kind of thing. But if we have to get rid of that idea that God is beyond the concept of gender, which is there in the Upanishad and the Vedic religion very much. And that's why different sects developed, which says that the Supreme is Divine Mother, this kind of thing. So that is all about in our head. We have to get rid of our body consciousness bit by bit, slowly. That we have to contemplate on it, first intellectually analyze about it, that it is not a big deal, whether it is a body of a male body or a female body. It is physiologically also is not too far different, too much different. There are some inferior creatures where the same body occasionally works as a male creature and occasionally works as a female creature, and then conceives eggs and produces youngs. Same body. There are some species there. The other day I was reading about it. I cannot quote it to exactly which creature and all these things, but they are there, some kind of fish. But that is there. So there, and then there are so many different kinds of species of life forms which are unigender. So our coming to this level of becoming a human, very complex structure of this physical body existence. Here someone is male and someone is female, and female is female, male is male. And we are very strongly attached and associated and identified with this concept of maleness, femaleness. And we live with that concept whole of our life, hold on it with our life, like death. But that is not true, and we have to rise above our body identification as a spiritual practice. Spiritual practice. That mano buddha ahankara chitta inaham, etc., etc. I am not this body, not the mind, not the sense, etc. This contemplation and this meditation, that might slowly help us get rid of this identification. Thank you. Vijay?
Swamiji, I was wondering if you could speak to us a little bit more about perhaps the joy of detachment or the concept of detachment and dispassion. Sometimes, like when I was a little younger, I used to hear that and think it sounded sad, like not to be excited about something or joyful, but to be more detached. Now, I think maybe it's you're detaching from Maya and being more tuned into the truth. And that would be like a joy that you don't.
You know, there's
feel till
one
you achieve it.
There was a family business there, and the man had a shop. They were running for a the whole of his life, and now he has grown old. And his sons, they did not want to continue doing the same business, and they eventually convinced their father, who had grown old, that Dad, you are going to now retire, and you are forcing us to do the same, that job, sitting in that shop and doing the same job. We are not going there anymore. We shall do the other thing. So they forced father to sell that business. So what the father could do? Sold the business. And lo and behold, within a couple of days, there was some kind of a fire breaking out. In the California now, a big fire is now burning. So a fire broke out, and the father, coming out from the house, saw that the shop is on fire. He shouted, "Hey, hey, our shop is burning, burning, hey, come, come, come." And the boy said, what are you shouting for? Come, come, we don't have time, the shop is burning, our shop is burning. And the boys came out, two boys, and they looked at it, and they said, "Father, calm down, it is not our shop. We have already sold it. Are you forgetting?" Now the father had lived with that whole of his life. So he, even after selling, he actually had not yet fully did not sink in his understanding yet. So instantly he was alarmed and shocked that the shop is on fire. But when the son said, "You have sold it, father, don't worry." Oh, yes, yes. Then he calmed down and entered his own room, came back. This is the idea of attachment and detachment. If you hold on to anything, the whole world, whatever you call your own, people, objects, house, your reputation, anything, whether they are tangible, not so tangible, anything. If you have attachment to it, you are holding it, this is me, this is mine, then you get pain and suffering. The moment you realize it is not yours, it is no more here, it is nothing. you are free. Then you don't have the suffering aspect of it. You can still go and try to douse that fire. Help the man who now owns, you still will go there. You will help. You'll sympathize with them. But the suffering aspect of it, your deep pain in it, will not be there. The pain is always because of our attachment. If we don't have attachment, then you will not have pain. So you can live in the world, and that is what Sri Ramakrishna says, that live in the world, do your duty to all your people as if they are your very own. But know deep within your heart that nothing belongs to you, everything belongs to the Lord. The moment you will be said you are fired, then you have to go. You are fired means people can die tomorrow, then he is fired. Or anything might happen, or the child might die, or something might happen. It is possible any moment, any time. So it is not in your control. You are not completely managing everything, your life, or all these things that you consider your own, you are not managing them. You think you are managing, but in a moment's notice, it might be snatched away from you. So you are not managing, therefore. You cannot say, nobody can snatch it away from me. I am holding it. This is mine. You cannot say so. Nobody can say so. And therefore, nothing belongs to you. This is the analytical part, or rationalize in your mind, and contemplate on it and meditate on it. Nothing belongs to you. God has dropped you in this situation in which everything, your body, mind, your family, your parent, your education, your anything that you think of, this situation you have been dropped into. You did not plan it. You did not decide where you are going to take what birth and how it will pan out. No, you did not decide. So nobody is owner of his or her own body, mind, senses, family, belongings, anything. But this has been provided to you. Nevertheless, this has been provided to you and told, hey, this is in your responsibility. You have to run this business nicely. You have been hired in the God's company. God is the chief executive officer. He has got many, many shops and many, many businesses and all things. And everybody has been hired for one job. Now, this portion of the job is yours. That means your family, your friends, your property, your anything that you call yours, that you have been told to do it. And do it nicely. Otherwise, you'll be punished. Because the owner of the business is very strictly watching. And if you can do the job properly and do it perfectly, then you'll be promoted. In your next birth, you'll be promoted. And final promotion is, you don't have to do any job. You are in the board of trustees. You be in the company of the divine, and so you don't have to go back and do all sorts of things. You have done very good job, and you have been promoted, and now you sit with me here in the same board. That is the plan of this very magical world of divine Maya or Mother. That is how it works. So you work here, do it very perfectly, but still understand in your contemplation When you in the morning, evening, you sit in prayer and meditation, you say that, Lord, nothing belongs to me, everything belongs to you. But whatever you have provided me with my strength and intelligence and all sorts of understanding, I will try my best to do the finest of the service to you, my Lord. But everything belongs to you. If you can do that, you will not have pain.
Can I add a bit?
Please.
So you have asked very nicely. Joy of renunciation. So schizophrenic. Sometimes we think something and schizophrenia. So a person thought, and he used to do that. Wherever he would get a, say, earthen worm, what is it? Earthen pot. He would go and hit it and break it. The whole day he would do this. All of a sudden, a person said, "This is not your job. Who engaged you? You yourself engaged in it." So he thought a bit. He said, "Yes, only I engaged myself." And then he renounced. So how much joy he must have. Say, "Oh my God, such a big duty is gone from me." Okay, another example. Suppose you are, in a thick of your examination, and time is going out, and you're so worried, you're perspiring. All of a sudden you wake up. Oh, it was a dream. What a relief. So this is joy of renunciation. This whole the edifice of duty and doing this, doing that, that will go away from you the moment you understand this. This is joy of renunciation. So it is, you have to get hold of something positive. Then somebody should be there who would tell you, this is not your job. Who engaged you for this? So immediately you are full of joy. So this is it. So we can have this joy of renunciation. We have to get out of this dream. Otherwise, oh, it is so pressing. Oh, Swami. Another thing, let us share. Generally, people are always in tension. Oh, I have to do this, I have to go there. Whole list of things, bucket list, whole list of things. But when you are not, you cannot do. Suppose you are in a traffic jam, you cannot do anyway. So you have to just calm yourself and do japa up. This can be done. No, oh, this man is doing this. Oh, this is all kinds of tension that we invite for ourselves. If we can renounce this, joy is within you. All trouble comes when there is ego. Ami mole guchive janjal. So when this ego comes, this is my thing. I belong to this, or this is my possession. So all this will go when this sense of ego, okay, let me depend on God. Then wherever he takes me, in whatever situation, I am happy. And you see, like this is, while doing, one can rest. This is a great secret. While doing, one can renounce. While driving, you can concentrate in driving. And also not to think and take tension. And this is not my theory. This is Bhagavad Gita says, Karmanya karmaya pashyet, akarmani cha karmaya, sabuddhiman manusheshu sayukta krishna karmakrit. Who sees while working, he sees this, I am not doing anything. Say, I am speaking. If I can think, oh, this system is speaking. So I am free. Joy of renunciation. And when you are not doing anything, And when you are, see, when we are not doing anything, it's still something. But this is not doing. Real doing is this doing. Karmani akarmayah pashyet akarmani cha karmayah sabuddhiman manushya. He is the wisest person. Sa yuktah. He is united with God. Karmakrit, and he has performed his duties perfectly. So this is our goal. Joy of renunciation. Very good. Very brilliant question. Okay. So thank you very much. Thank you. Any other question?
No,
Okay.
otherwise, if you have beds here so that people can sleep all the time,
Okay. No.
then more.
No, detachment has come, Maharaj. Detachment has come. Joy of renunciation. Just now I'm going to before that, I should conclude. So mother has ordained something, mother has provided something. You can have it before you leave, right? And tomorrow we'll meet at 10:30. Come there, come to the retreat, Scapus. Before 10:30, we'll start our program at 10:30. Right? We will have puja first, and then whole lots of reading, speeches, songs, and then we'll go for dedication of a shrine, Zoroastrian shrine. So many people may not heard what is this Zoroastrian. Actually, even Christianity, when Abrahamic religions originated based on Zoroastrianism. So now gradually some people are getting reconverted into Zoroastrianism. And luckily, some of them migrated to India and they continued their worship. They have a shrine and they had a condition that we are coming here, but where our temple will be there for 50 kilometers or something, no other temple should be there. So anyway, in India they were accommodated and still they are there. And when they were asked, how would you like to be here? You are coming from your country because you are persecuted. So how would you like to be here? So they had not much to talk about, but they brought a glass of milk and they added sugar. So we'll be like sugar. And actually they are like that. Big business houses, say Tata, you can say like that. Many Joros, so we call them Parsis, no? Parsis. So they are very good at business and also.
They are 100% educated and very highly educated and qualified and intellectual people.
Tata, yeah.
Yeah, Tata family is like that, and their grandfather, Jamshedji.
Even he
Tata,
met Swamiji.
He met Swamiji.
Yeah.
He was a young man.
Yeah.
He met, and it is not about only business. In many other fields also, the father of Indian atomic energy research was Homi Jahangir Bhabha. So in India, the main atomic energy research center is called Bhabha Atomic Research Center. He was the pioneer in the early days of free India to start research in the field that was not thinkable even in India, where just some college education, regular science graduate would be enough. There he was doing research in the atomic energy. And he pioneered that, and he started the institution supported by the central government in India. And now it is one of the big thing. So they are intellectuals. The whole Parsi race, which is very small in number, they are 100% highly educated and very intelligent people, and they have contributed to Indian civilization in many different ways, especially after the independence of the country, when there was a freedom to do that. So they did industrialization and service in many other fields, academic field and other fields. They are wonderful addition to the Indian race. They are not originally Indian in race-wise. They came from outside, but they became a very valuable part of India.
Okay, so thank you very much. So Madhurenu Samapayat, food, whatever is there. And before we depart, let us chant the Shanti Mantra. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamivavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tatsat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Thank you very much.
Pranam Maharaj.
আপনাকে কি আমি চিনি?
হ্যাঁ চেনেন তো, আমি ওয়াশিংটন ডিসিতে ভার্জিনিয়ায় থাকি, কিন্তু ডিসি সেন্টারে যাই আর কি।
কি নাম আপনার?
আপনাকে দেখেছি অনেকবার। আমার নাম শুভ্রা,
ও
শুভ্রা রায়।
নমস্কার।
নমস্কার।
Acha, Akshay
What?
and to others, for few days, there will be no class up to 17th. Then we'll
Oh,
meet one or two times and then we'll break for the summer. So thank you very much.
okay.
কি বলছিলেন?
Okay. No, I was just asking. I was about to ask about classes, and
How is
স্বামীজি বললেন যে
আপনি
no
ওই যে
class.
বলে দিলেন যে এখন 7
হ্যাঁ,
দিন
no
ক্লাস
class.
হবে না।
তারপরে তো সামার ব্রেক, সো
হ্যাঁ,
আফটার।
তারপর summer break. এক দুবার দেখা হবে।
Okay, okay.
David, thank you. Deva, Akshay.
Thank you, Swami.
Yeah, Akshay, do you have any question?
Pranam Maharaj. No.
Okay, good. Okay, his questions are also. Thank you.
Bye bye.
His questions are also very good. Okay.
Pranam Maharaj.
Namaste, namaste. Yes, trying to close this.